Welcome everyone. Hope you're all doing well as we head into the month of May. We really have a good reason to celebrate this month. It begins a year of high alchemy and wishes being granted. With the Mercury in its post-shadow stage, we are now able to move forward. So anything that was feeling stuck or not moving along as quickly as we'd like it to will now start to move forward again. I definitely had felt this very explosive energy, which was actually releasing manifestations that may have been held up for a while. Sometimes it's a month, sometimes it's years, sometimes it's actually decades, but this is a time where a lot is going to be released and be able to come into your life. So if you've been waiting and wondering why your desires haven't been showing up, now is the time that they will come to fruition. So May of 23 to May of 24 is a very magical time, and it is a time of abundance and good fortune and unexpected turn of events. And that can flow both ways, either positive or negative. I don't like to usually use those terms, more, we like to stay more in the neutral, but it will affect many in those respects. It will be a reversal for some, in a sense. Those that have had less will now have more, and those that have not shared their wealth wisely will see a decline and loss in their finances and in other areas of their life. So you will see these unexpected turns this year quite a bit. You will see some businesses also skyrocketing out of nowhere, and you're going, where did that business come from? And that's a great idea. And others are going under, never to return again. It's simply they did what they did, and their time is up. For some, second chances will reappear. So be observant when these situations or people come back into your life. If the situation or person still holds negative energy, walk away, reflect, and reevaluate. There's no purpose or point in going down a broken path twice. And of course, it is always our humanly choice to decide which way you want to go, but to use wisdom and to just take a look at that second chance. Is it in the same type of energy, in that the lower vibration, or has it shifted and changed? And then you can kind of hop back on board. So use your discretion with this, and definitely take that time to just sit and reflect on that. Well, these certainly are living in interesting times. I'll put it that way. I myself have been experiencing, for lack of better words, time warps and dimensions merging. Now, while I've had this before, it's been a little bit different for me lately. For instance, I found myself driving down the road only to suddenly realize I have no idea where I was. And I had to admit it was a little bit scary. And no, I don't have dementia. I'm good. But, now I've driven down these roads hundreds of times, but it felt so different. I felt so out of place and completely foreign, like I was just picked up and put somewhere else. I just don't have any other way to describe it, other than it was almost like time travel. Just I was here one moment and boom, I was over here another moment. So after a few moments, I regained my whereabouts, and I had never left the road I was on. I was actually in the same place where I had left it, but it was back to where it was. And this happened to me several times. And I know other people that I've spoken to, others are experiencing these time shifts too, describing it as a ripple in time, or in the time continuum. It's a bending of what we call light fractals, and it can Again, it's easier to show than it is to try to explain, but everything is just kind of out of sorts. The light reflecting, the fractals are refracting in a different way. One light worker I saw had a photo of Brooklyn Bridge and all the roads and the cars around it, and everything was bent into a different shape. It was warped. And now she's lived there for 50 years of her life by the Brooklyn Bridge. She lives almost right under it. And she said she'd never witnessed this before. And so this is something, she got the photo of it too. So, we were able to see it. But it's something that you would almost see out of a movie. I'm trying to think of there was a movie. I'm so sorry, I can't remember it. Maybe they'll remind me down the line here. But it was very similar to just that shifting of time. So you may also experience a looping effect or deja vu, like I've been here before, I've already done this. That's becoming more and more common. Also, the Mandela effect. And this is when you are in the awareness and the remembering of a situation or a person, such as Harry Belafonte, who just passed a few days ago. But I know I've seen him pass at least 3 or 4 times. And so it's that recognition of, oh, this is a different timeline. This is where timelines converge. And this is just a parallel life that he had. And we're seeing that person or that situation repeat, but sometimes in a different way. So they may pass, but it might be different versions of it that you might be seeing. So that also is happening quite a bit. We are experiencing these anomalies as the old world, continues to dismantle, and we are sandwiched in between the tween places. So it's like the tween places are also like dusk and dawn, right before it gets light, right before it gets dark. And we're kind of in that tween place, and so we're able to actually glimpse projections of the new realm. So there's a lot happening, especially since we had that fracture and that portal opening at the end of March. Things have picked up speed a little bit more with this, so to speak. But all of our planets in the solar system are part of this huge expansion. And scientists they can't figure it out, but they are noting, and they have proof of these physical changes happening to all the planets. But they lack the understanding esoterically to know why it's happening, and that this is just our evolutionary cycle that we're going through. But they're reporting Saturn's rings are heating up, and they don't understand why. Venus has volcanic activity. So throughout these ascension phases, with all the planets shifting, with ours included, it will allow for easier flow, volume of information and support to us. Whereas we were cut off before, it's going to be much easier now as we shift. And with each event, we shift a little bit more. There's more timelines converging and changing. The magnetic field is dropping. So it just, with each time, with each event, it just shifts a little bit more. So on May 5th and 6th, depending where you are in the world, we have the lunar eclipse. While we are still in the window of the solar eclipse that we had in April, which means we're integrating a tremendous amount of codes and frequencies throughout this passageway. And even once the eclipse is over, these codes and these energies can last up to 6 months or more afterwards. So that will continue on. I did find an interesting fact that during the eclipses, spiders will completely dismantle their webs and go inside. And waiting till after the eclipse has fully passed before building a new one. And I found it really interesting, that they do this. And it's kind of a great reminder for us to recognize that this is a sacred time as well. And to take time to be silent, to contemplate, to discard anything that doesn't work and rebuild the new from within. So try to really spend some time and make that conscious effort to put yourself first, to self-nurture yourself, whether it's, as you've heard me say, meditation, walks, yoga, it doesn't really matter. But take that time to prioritize during this time, because it is, they're showing me now the Hermit. So it is very much a time of going within and saying, oh, that's something, that's a habit I do that's no longer needed. I'm going to let that go, and I'm going to build a new one. I'm going to change that aspect of my life. So it's a very good time to recognize that, to recognize the gifts that you have that may be coming on board right now and how to utilize them. So this is a really beneficial time for everyone to just take that time to be in silence and put yourself first when it comes to that. Not, I ran around all day. And well, I guess I really should sit and meditate and really check in, but I don't have time for that. And they want you to kind of flip that and make sure that's a priority, to go within first, set your day, manifest, and then move forward, because it's just going to be so much easier for you. Your day just flows once you do that. So Mother Mary would share this month that living from grace is very important at this time, as we are presented with many, many challenges, externally and internally. One of the universal laws is called the law of grace. And utilizing this law is one of great wisdom. And calling upon this law in a time of need will generate love and ease in any situation. And, Mother Mary is the perfect one to bring that through, because of her experiences that she had to go through and witness. And lesser beings would have cracked under the pressure that she went through of watching not so nice things, through her life, and then having to witness her son on the cross. So, and she's saying without that grace, couldn't have done it. But she had it down. She understood how to utilize that. And it also gives you, when you call upon that law of grace, it also gives you the grace and strength to endure whatever trial you're undergoing, allowing you to just surrender to the moment in a non-resistant way. So knowing a moment of challenge presents a moment of change. So when you realize you're in that moment of challenge, it presents an opportunity and a moment of change. So to recognize that, to be in the awareness of that, you can be present and call upon that state of grace. And it's almost if time slows down and just stops, and you're just in that state of grace and love. and you're able to handle whatever comes up in front of you without blinking an eye. You're just in that space. And when you live in that now moment, forgiveness is instantaneous. Love is constant. And grace flows throughout all time. Therefore, you hold on to nothing. It's just complete detachment. So, and nothing lingers. Nothing lingers. Nothing stays attached when you call upon that. So, during these times, if you find your external circumstances are really challenging you, simply ask for cosmic law of grace in that moment of need, and just allow that vibration to shift you. It's as simple as that. If you wanted to connect to one of the masters, to Mary, to Yeshua, to the archangels, anyone that you feel connected to, you can go ahead and connect them, and just please ask for the law of grace, the cosmic grace, to come over me. And I know when I have used it in the past, it's pretty instantaneous. And then you get to a point where it's just within you. And so no matter what comes up, you're just able to flow through any situation that gets thrown at you. So if you need it, invoke that law of grace this month and throughout the rest of the year. In April, the rose gold rays were released from within the Earth's master crystals, okay? So, which are all over the Earth. And I was not aware that was going to happen, but they did release. And I find that it's no coincidence that I've been sitting on these rose gold codes and templates for over a year and wondering, why am I not sharing this? So now I understand, and now is the perfect time to release them. So these light codes will activate the next set of sacred geometries within your light body. And I will announce the event date shortly, and I will post it on my website along with additional information. And my website is listed in the description box below. Because Mother Mary spoke of, the law of grace and how to use that this month, I'm going to go ahead with the transmission and also give the light codes of grace for you also. And you can come back to this as often as you want and listen to them, because there's always deeper layers every time you listen. So I'm sending you many blessings for the month of May, and wishing you all well and lots of good fortune. And do the transmission, and I will see you next time. Okay? Nauishania kuyana akura tayana makoro tapa o suinyanya arinyano su isuoshta ayaharutu surya ma aku urte a yani akute asuite a orama a neatu asutuinya neo kuriana akare korioriana ya khroye tushitia na toria aku amana yakutu wahakte anaishe tutu daihu turita pa atuti antre arana ariana sa ayasa rote dosi tiati ni khekhosta de arenya di urindita pa a oshene ni atuki the dihoreni so itigre ni usu ishta ne usu araroaria mia ne okoibi igerela ke bi posta and ariana tiare teoria no ya biaste ora na bayata uretene
Haranyanyako. Aniritaram barrio tohistemina ukurtemia nia suibian arenena. Arianen so orienana koyemia tushte ora dai muna ya wuro tuyemia toku asutea anea ya sute miana. Ak tushte me anea kuye yasa. Ayaruti nyararina biyoyoroshte terini siakus ane rietin biatu in harenite te bahota maana eliaku ma asuyitena teowane yakaretere na yakareno soyishte yana yuaka derivi fiara la harakiasa lachno and the creana numia forito teratu te arantu te raja shariti piano te orieta brane ako branio so bratu yapa anu satea aku anawara lahakte aniasu ahia oriania soyo yakutarete Around Rikisi or to Horenata or Ramane Wariate to Raniapa Aviaku Asha Alemiana Atu Tuayanaya.
Blessings, everyone. Till next time. Bye bye.